Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Triple Chalice Tarot. I am your host, Rowan Nix. Thank you for joining us tonight for our midweek reading, here with my lovely co-hosts, Aluna Odette.
Hello.
And Taruk Vishal.
Hi, guys.
And just to let you know, in case you're new to the show, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Triple Chalice Tarot. Now, Aluna is going to go ahead and give us our midweek reading, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about the effects of the blood moon that happened on Sunday. So, Aluna, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Sure thing. I am going to go ahead and shuffle and do a light shuffle this evening. I do have the card section out, and the deck that I'm going to be using tonight is the Book of Shadows, Volume 2 by Barbara Moore, and the artwork is by Ariganello Pastorello. I hope I didn't butcher his name. Okay, and here we go. So tonight I'm going to be doing a 5-card spread. And let's see what the cards have in store to tell us. All right. Okay. So the present position here is the 9 of Pentacles. And this card is saying to me that this is speaking out to someone who has definitely put in the work. You are very much at the precipice of your career ventures, your business endeavor, your entrepreneurship. The 9 of Pentacles signifies someone who has gained their finances and their financial abundance through experienced craft, and that craft being very tailored to their specific medium. So whatever you're doing out there, you're really good at it. You put in the work for it, though, okay? Because the woman that is portrayed in the 9 of Pentacles, she stands there very regal. She also wields a falcon in most depictions, and the falcon is very trained, okay? The falcon is resting on her arm. It does not move, so it shows that she has mastery over her art, her craft. And she's surrounded by these pentacles. So it's saying, from her skill, from her trade, and from her craft, she's been very well rewarded. So you've put in the effort for this and have been definitely rewarded for that. Now, in the recent past, I'm seeing here the 10 of Chalices. So, Miss Thing, if you're out there listening, you got the family harmony on deck. You have the finances on deck. This is a really good time for you. The 10 of Chalices represents family harmony, emotional harmony, and being very much fulfilled in that family harmony. So, not necessarily that you have kids and the whole husband ordeal, but maybe you've just made a comfortable a comfortable home life for yourself where you are fulfilled. But the 10 of Chalices also, with every single chalice of the suits being present, you've gone through the emotional turbulence. Again, maturity. It's the ending of the chalice suits when you get to the 10s. So it's saying that you've gone through all the endeavors, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and you've winged it. You set it out, and you are definitely resting in that. Now, in the distant past foundation, I'm seeing here the Queen of Swords, okay? So this is kind of a feminine reading I'm seeing here. The Queen of Swords is definitely a woman who is shrewd in her diplomacy. She's very shrewd in her diplomacy. She's also a woman that is very intellectually driven. She can put her emotions aside to make sure things get done, that make sure things are rational and logical and applied, okay? She's also a woman who isn't going to settle for much crap. So in the past, this is saying to me that you have just been really weeding out all the bad apples, cutting away all the trial and errors, whether that be with people, whether that be in, again, your career endeavor, whether that be in where you place yourself in the world right now. This queen is a very strong woman, very strong, intellectually driven woman, and that is what I'm seeing in the distant past foundation. Now, going ahead into the future influences, I see the 2 of Swords, okay? And the 2 of Swords, this is a card about, it reflects meditation and deep, sort of deep intellectual meditation, but it also can signify being not able to make a decision, not able to come to a concrete decision. The woman here, and oftentimes in the display of this card, has the swords crossed, and she's sitting with a blindfold, okay? She's not wanting to make the decision. So, something is impending before you. I bet it's a move. I'm picking up that you might have to move, or you might be feeling like you want to change in your career position. Maybe you want to venture off into something, take a different path. But I'm definitely picking up on moving, like you moving to another state, but you are not willing to give up home, your roots and where you've grown and where you've been nurtured, especially with the family harmony in the Ten of Chalices. So this is a decision that you're coming to, that you're faced with right now, that you haven't really come to a complete choice about right now. So definitely pay attention to that, and don't stifle too long, or opportunity will slip away from you. But in the last and final result, I'm seeing here the Five of Swords, okay? And this going to tying, I see two swords here tying in with this woman, okay? So the Queen of Swords, as I said before, is where you're coming from, and the Five of Swords here, this card represents someone who uses oftentimes malicious tactics to get their way. Now, if you are that woman, that Queen of Swords, you definitely know how to maneuver things and slightly manipulate things to work out in your favor. But people are catching on to you. In this card, in the deck that I have, this is showing in career venture. So there's three women, and they're standing on different place podiums, first, second, and third, and they have awards presented to them. Now, the woman that's standing on the first she's standing on the first podium. Got tongue tied. She's standing on the first podium. She's joyful, she has this sort of triumphant look on her face as she raises her trophy. But the other two women, they're looking at her with a sight of envy, and also with a sight of kind of knowing that something she didn't win that fairly. So it's saying to me that be careful who you double cross, if you are a double crosser, even in business ventures, okay? Don't overstep people just because you know how to. Don't take advantage of people just because you know how to, because karma is always watching, and it's not nice, okay? So that is pretty much what I have picked up from this reading, and I am going to turn it over to my two co-hosts. What are you guys seeing from this reading? What are you guys picking up?
Okay,
Saru?
I guess I'll go first. Okay, I'll go first.
Uh-huh.
I love the ending, how you kind of gave that warning with the Five of Swords. I love how you give them that warning. Definitely. I mean, should I go one by one or just?
Sure. I mean, yeah, we have. It's
okay.
10 minutes in right now.
Well, the first card was the Nine of Pentacles, correct?
Yes.
Okay, the Nine of Pentacles. Now that card definitely, in my personal deck, it does deal with material wealth, with security, with money, with security, ease, living well. Definitely, it's a card that, in my deck it shows like a man cutting the fruits and the money in the fruits. So it's basically you reaping the rewards, the fruits of your labor, basically, and living good from it, basically. So, the Nine of Pentacles is definitely a good card. Now, the next one, was the Ten of Chalices, and that was the immediate influences, correct?
It was a recent past. So recently, this is true.
So the Ten of Chalices, this is a card of contentment. It's a card of, of positivity, of rebirth, of perfection of a situation, also, happiness. So, these are definitely positive, beautiful cards. And now the Queen of Swords is where you kind of got in with a person like, this is, I agree, I feel a female energy, a feminine energy, but a strong feminine energy who doesn't play any games, who, you can come to her for help, but she can also cut your head off if you, step to her the wrong way. She is
vicious,
definitely
strong woman.
Yeah, a very strong woman. And, you know, I love women who stand in their power, who have a leadership position, like the Queen of Swords does, and she does not let people step on her or walk over her. But sometimes, you know, especially when it comes to the females, you know, who have a power position, they do tend to maybe overstep their slayage a little bit. You know, maybe they cut a little too many heads off. So
that's what I'm seeing in the Five of Swords.
Yeah. Yeah, just because they are a woman, and maybe, you know, because of that, they have to be a little bit harder. So the Queen of Swords, I feel like, definitely calls that into action. Now, the next card, which is the Two of Swords, you know, this is a card about that balance, you know. It's a card definitely, like you said, you know, being in two different type of positions, you know, which you said family and business, correct? Correct, Aluna?
And I felt a bit of a move, too, or having a decision needed to be made.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So the Two of Swords, you know, I feel like having that move or that decision between family and work, you know, this is a card about having that balance, about also being able to adapt to certain situations. So the Two of Swords definitely is speaking on behalf of that. Now, the final card, which is the Five of Swords, you know, I love how Aluna gave her definition explanation. That was beautiful. In my deck, the Five of Swords is a card of defeat. You know, it's a card of failure, loss of privileges. It's a card of dishonor. So, like Aluna said, you know, if you are doing things that may not be correct in order to get to where you need to be, you may need to watch what you're doing because, like she said, karma does not play, and the universe will hit you where it hurts, you know. So that Queen of Swords, eventually you might have, you know, some people who are conspiring against you, who want to take you down. So you definitely have to watch your back. This might be a little warning for somebody out there who is in a position of power, who may be a little too sword happy, you know, cutting people's heads off. So definitely. Okay, Rowan, so what about you?
I think you both nailed it perfectly. The one thing that I think I might have a different perspective on is the Two of Swords. Now, that's the upcoming situation, isn't it? The Two of Swords, the position that it's in? The future influence. So I'm definitely getting a sense of a tense balance and a sense of like almost like a power struggle that I think echoes in the Five of Swords as well. Something that maybe was once harmonious, or the Ten of Cups I'm referencing, or, you know, very loving, etc., has now turned sour. It's now turned into something that's more of like a power struggle between two people. And the Five of Swords, I'm seeing, I agree with you both, it is definitely a warning. It is definitely, because the Five of Swords in my deck is a samurai performing harikari, and it's saying that you're going to stab yourself here. You're going to cut your own hands off by trying to, you know, grab the swords yourself. So to always go with grace and go with love, and to, if you do have to leave somebody, like you're saying that this is about a move, if you do have to leave somebody, to make sure that you go in the right way. You know, you want to cover your tracks in the right way. You don't want to burn bridges. You don't want to be hurtful just because you can, etc. Which this person obviously is very comfortable with because they got the Queen of Swords in their background. So this is someone that has no issue,
no problem cutting ties to get ahead. And I mean, that's necessary, definitely, to get ahead in some situations, but be mindful because, again, in the Five of Swords, people are watching and people are taking into account your character all the time. So that was a very good reading. I like that. I think
you did very well.
So now let's talk about that blood moon. Oh, my God. Was it beautiful or what?
It was huge. It was ginormous.
I know. The night sky was totally lit up to the point that it was like, it almost seemed like daylight. It was like two more notches to daylight. So did you guys do anything special for the moon?
I did. I performed my first ritual, I guess, my first moon bathing. I know. I actually took out, you know, my cards, and my scrying mirror, my ball, and I soaked in the moon. I inhaled its energy, and I did this special little, just off the top of my head, the universe just, I guess, inspired me. I made the moon reflect on every single card, and I let the light go into every single card and had the moon's energy reflect. And I started with the death card, and then I flipped each card until I went back to the death, so I did
Come
that.
through,
and,
High Priestess.
Yeah. And
Come through, High Priestess.
And I just let
And the death card is sacred to Scorpio, too.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It is. And it's a good place to start, because that is like a new beginning for me, especially, doing my first moon type of. And now from now on, like every single time I go out at night, I look at the moonlight shining on the streets. Like I notice now the light of the moon, shining on me.
It's so much more brighter. So much more brighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I think people forget, even from a scientific perspective, people forget the effect that the moon has on our planet. In my area, which is a coastal city, there were floods. Like, the streets were completely impassable. The sea was literally rising up into the downtown areas, and people couldn't get around without, like, a water taxi or something. So the moon is a lot stronger than people give credit to, and it also has a strong effect on emotions.
Yeah.
There's like records of like crime and criminal activity goes up during the full moon because people are just so crazy.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it coincides with our body being made up of what, 70% water, 70% fluid, or maybe more than that. But yes, just imagine the moon's tide pulling on that. Well, I had a chance to actually go to the beach. Because I do live on the coast as well, and it was totally like a whole tourist setup. Everyone was out there watching the moon. I made sure I brought my stones and my cards as well, and I found a quiet place because I don't like to meditate in front of people or just like go out there like just a high priestess just walking the path of the sea. But it was so beautiful. We got out there about 9:40. I say 9:40, and I watched the entire thing. So I saw it turn dark, and then I saw it turn red, and then we kind of left after it turned a little red, and then it went, about time it was back to its full potential of brightness, it had just, it was just so magical. The whole street, the whole night just felt totally magical, and it swept away all the light pollution too, because that can get pretty annoying. That can totally get pretty annoying. And my cards felt fully charged. Obviously, look at look at what's unfold for our midweek reading. So let's see. Do we have anything else? We have about 10 minutes in.
Well, keep in mind that this. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to remind everyone that this past full. Sorry. True. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. You go ahead. No. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that the full moon was rising in Aries, which is a good time for change. It's Aries is a very warlike sign, so it's a good time for struggles and for arguments and fights to go in your favor. So I'm sure a lot of people were probably picking up on that. Also, the fact that it was a blood moon, that it was an eclipse, that we're in the harvest time of the year. So tensions are kind of running high, I think.
Oh, wow. I've seen that all on my news feed. Yeah. Everyone's kind of butting heads right now.
It's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, and I just wanted to remind you guys that the next time that there will be a blood moon, I think it's in 2033.
Oh, yeah, it's a good minute away.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of like wanted to go outside and make sure that I actually saw it, because 2033, I think I'm going to be like, in my 40s by that time. So I think so. So, I want to get it now, experience that now, so I can remember it, by that time. Like, I actually saw a red moon. It's my first one actually seeing it. So, it was very beautiful, definitely beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Wow. So let me ask you guys, did anybody have any, I meant to mention that I had like this really prophetic dream with the influence of the moon. Did any of you guys experience any dreams or any sort of whimsical-like experience?
I did have a dream. I guess I could briefly tell you guys the dream was kind of weird. I had a dream that I was in some type of like hallway, and there were these metal type of things coming out of the wall, but to like kill you, like these. I don't know if these movies, like the Maze Runner type movies, that this thing comes out of the wall and it's like fast moving blades, and I was trying to like go over it, and then when I tried to go over it, it's like I flew in the air, and this guy flew with me in the air, and we were gonna fall, and like, oh my god, and like I saw like like the corn crops type things. What are those called? Like the tall corn, just a field of corn.
Corn stalks.
Fell.
Yeah,
we fell over the corn, and we survived the fall, and next thing you know, we're running with a pack of dinosaurs. I don't know what that was, but yeah, dinosaurs running. And that was my dream. That was so weird.
Wow. Maybe you went back in time.
Or something, or maybe it's the whole, like, or the harvest, etc.
Yeah. But you know what I did? I slept with my crystal ball. I've been sleeping with my crystal ball ever since the blood moon, and I've been having strange dreams like that every single night.
Wow.
Same. Totally.
And what about you, Rowan? Did you have any dreams?
Well, the thing is I haven't been having, like, prophetic dreams in that way, but my dreams I've been lucid dreaming a lot. So I've been having dreams where, like, I get up, I wash my teeth, I get in the shower, I get in my car, and I'm asleep. And there's a really good trick that I read online to check if you're lucid dreaming. It's if you pick up a book and you open the book and the first page is always different, you're in a dream. I sleep with my cards on my bedside, and every time I would, like, turn over to check my cards, they would always be something different. Like, the colors would run, or it would be an image that I know is not in my deck. Like, it was insane. It was totally insane. Everything was super vivid, super real. I could have sworn I was awake, but I wasn't. And when I woke up, the card that was actually in my deck was the moon.
Ooh, how about that?
I swear, oh God.
So let me see. My dream was pretty intense too. The night of the moon. Okay, so sleeping under the moon. When I felt that I was visited by a celebrity. Someone that I've seen him before, but I can't really think of his name off the top of my head. But he came to my house and he wanted to donate some money to me. Okay. He wanted to donate some money, and I was, like, really against it because, of course, now we live in an age where it's like anything that seems too good to be true, we're just like, never mind. It sounds gimmicky. I don't want it. But
leave it under the rug.
Right, but see, that's something that I feel like the lesson that was in the dream is to overcome that, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to receive our blessings is to not be skeptical. But anyway, in the dream, he came and he was trying to donate this money to me, and he said, okay, if you allow me to donate this money to you, I only want $3,000 out of it. And it was a lot of money. It was like $230,000 or something like that. And I was like, you're sure? Like, no, I don't believe this. And he was like, yes, trust me, whatever. So it ended up being that he wanted to stash the money under my bed, okay? Really weird. Wanted to stash the money under my bed. Some crime lord movie, mobster type stuff. And finally I agreed. He convinced me to stash the money, and we end up getting raided by these older granny cops, okay? Very funny. Older granny cops that were, like, banging down my door like, what's going on in here? Like, where's the money? We heard you got the money. And we were like, oh, my gosh. So it ended up being, right, that they were ripping it felt kind of like a lucid dream, too. They were tearing my apartment apart, looking for the money. And I was just like, the entire time, like, oh, my gosh, like, don't look under the bed. Don't look under the bed. And then the celebrity guy appears again, and he says to the women, maybe you should check under the bed, okay? So treacherous, very treacherous. But when the women, so I looked at him and when he said, and I was like, how could you? I was like, and I whispered, I was like, how could you do this to me, And he was like, be quiet. And so he told me to be quiet, and I kind of shut up. And when they go to lift up the bed, the money was gone. It was absolutely gone. I was like, okay. So they end up finishing their search. They leave my apartment, and then my partner comes to me, and he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he says, we should check, the money's in the bank account. And I was like, what? And that was the last thing I remember. So good omens, hopefully, to come. I hope I'm not into crime at all. If anyone's legally listening, I'm not into crime at all. I do not condone any sort of, okay? But if it comes, it will definitely come, and I have my arms open to it. But, yeah,
with all the
very
blessings.
weird.
All the blessings, all the prosperity, girl.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have about 5 minutes left. Should we shimmy up something else? What would you guys like to talk about, go in about?
I just want to remind Sorry.
Go ahead.
You two are crossing swords tonight, aren't you?
I don't need to. I think we're just on the same wavelength. Honestly.
I know. Go ahead, Roman.
Go ahead, Taruk.
No, okay, look, I was just going to ask you about
so for our next show, what are some topic ideas that you guys will probably want to go over for our Saturday show? If you're new to the show, we do a show every Wednesday and every Saturday. We do daily tarot card picks, and we post about them on our Facebook like page. Again, follow us at Triple Chalice Tarot at Facebook or on Facebook. And there you can like our stuff, like our show. You can follow us and keep up with all the interesting things that we are pulling from our decks. Now, for our next show, what would you guys like to go in about? Anyone?
I guess I'm not sure right now. I mean, maybe something about the cards. I was going to ask Rowan about his lucid dream.
Oh, go ahead. No, you said you were going to ask him about
I was going to
dreaming,
ask.
something.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 minutes left. I just wanted to ask you about you seeing something and then it changing, like that activated your ability to know that you were in the dream.
Yes. If you watch the movie Inception, they talk about totems, and lucid dreaming is actually a thing. Like, they do it in there, and it's kind of more grandiose than it actually is, but lucid dreaming is whenever you're in a dream and you know you're dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you do that is you either pick up a book, or I have my cards that I know are always by my bedside, or you have some kind of a stone or something, and in dreamscapes, it's the subconscious, so it changes constantly, and it's really hard to keep track of. So that's how you would know, oh, I'm in a lucid dream right now. But the hard part of it is whenever you have that realization, your body automatically wants to wake up. It's like an instinct. It's like, okay, I'm dreaming, I need to wake up.
Really?
So you have to fight that. Yeah.
I need to research that. But yeah, I mean, maybe we can talk about tarot and dreams.
Dreams will be a nice, dreams will be a nice show topic to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
Have any of us ever performed a spell in a dream? Or that would be kind of cool too.
Let's go down that path.
Talk about spells. We should talk about spells. Let's talk about spells and using our cards with spells.
Yes, using tarot spells, because if you guys aren't familiar with that, tarot can be a very good medium for spell work because the symbology is so rich, and especially if you know your cards and you're comfortable with your cards. I mean, honey, if you want to be the sassy, magnanimous woman for the evening, the Queen of Wands is your girl. If you want to be the Grand Hostess, the Queen of Pentacles is your girl. So those cards and using that in spell work definitely can grant you the symbology and the extra boost you might need to bring your spell work to full circle.
So thank you guys so much for listening.
Yes, thank you so much for listening.
Y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Alrighty. Good night.
Geico presents sharing versus over.